What's going on, everybody? Do a little short. This vape's like that, this vape's like that, this vape's this way, that vape's this way. And then I gotta go outside and start working on some stuff. So, I recoiled and rewicked a bunch of these. You know what that is? That's a protank coil. A version 1. Same thing for the version 2. And they all have, focus Danielson, they all have 6 reps of 28 gauge in them. And they come out right around 1.18 was one I just did for this one. That one's 1.15. And it does seem to change a little bit. I checked them all as I was doing it, and if you move them around or tweak them this way or tweak them that way, it changes a little bit. It doesn't jump around. There's no shorts. It just, you squeeze the coils a little bit, go one way, spread them out a little bit, goes the other way. So, whatever. I didn't really heat them up and pinch them together to make them micro. I just wrapped them as close as possible and dropped them in there. And then once I trapped the wires, I just situated the coil so it was directly over the airflow and threw some cotton in it. And at the moment, 3.3 volts. It's positively beautiful. Now, I can change that a little bit. I can even put that down for a second. I'll go up to 3.8 on this. 3.8. Bit warmer. Bit more flavor, bit more vapor. Put it on a freshly charged. Yeah, the H100. Bring the H100 back out of retirement for a little bit here. I was tired of putting the dripper on and then the K-Fun on. I figured I still got the H100 laying around. I'll just put the dripper on that. Much more out of this. Although with the extra oomph of an 18650 battery at 3.7, 3.8 volts, tends to dry out the wicks a little faster. You can counteract that with a little dry puff action there without pushing the button. And I could feel the dryness. But for convenience sake today, because I'm going to go outside and fiddle around and maybe run the lawnmower or whatever. Got my juice way out there. So, for convenience sake, it's not very convenient to put this big bad puppy in my pocket, nor this. This is, yeah, that's still lighter than that. Convenience sake, and what you want to do in your day-to-day life. Sorry, just putting the protank down my leg for a minute here because I know it's going to drip out a little excess juice. And why do we want that all over our table? So I'm just going to top this off. Yeah, I went down. I got me some more dragon fruit. Good stuff. Pretty much minus maybe 5 mils of that. Whole 30 ml bottle. That's all that lived in my protank. Last time I bought one of these. For convenience sake, take the old spinner out with the lanyard. It's convenient. It just sits there. Drop her down to 3.3. So yeah, different things do vape differently. But there it is. Just carry it around with you without putting it in your pocket. I have actually shortened my lanyard up from when I first got it. So it hangs here instead of hanging way down here. So it's right there all the time. Which is great. You're working on a car. You're out there mowing the lawn. Mow the lawn. Keep mowing the lawn. It's all good. Want to usually wear my button-up shirt, but it's supposed to be nice today, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I'll probably have it buttoned up, so this is under the shirt. And if I'm out there mowing or whatever, I'm not getting grass clippings in it. Grass clippings. The old MVP, it still works. I'm gonna give it another go here, and see how the battery life goes with these new coil heads that I got rewrapped here. Not really new coil heads, they're old coil heads. They're rewrapped and rewicked. But yeah, do that. I did take my iClear 30B, and finally, after over 2 months, I said, you know what? Let's see. And I could have done it on camera, but I took it apart. Let's see what the heck them coil heads, the cotton really that I put in there. I wanted to see how badly burnt it was. You know what? They were black, but it was more of a juice discoloration of the cotton. And they weren't really burnt. They were just discolored from all the different juices. I'm going to screw this down, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You know why it doesn't want to work? Because after being screwed down so many times, that puppy's flush right there. And this beauty ring on top of my MVP is taller than my 510 connection. Because I'm not screwed down all the way right there. And works just fine. And I didn't wick this with a ton of cotton. I pretty much got away with what I got right there in the protank, which is a very small amount. Which I was surprised it's not flooding. You can take a long hit on it. Most of my stuff you can take a long hit on. except for maybe this. I'm vaping this. I picked up some Vermilion juice. I wanted to know what primer fluid tasted like. And I've never had the absinthe drink, but that's what the flavor is described as. And I said, bring it on, whatever. Got me a big old bottle of that. And, sorry. Black licorice, especially in a dripper. If you put this in a dripper, wow, flavor crazy. If you like black licorice, which I don't mind it, it's alright. But it's like a black licorice with a root beer barrel tinge. You know, the hard candy root beer barrel? That root beer barrel tinge in the background. And, but that black licorice, man. I'm just going to let that live in my cave on until I'm done with the bottle. It's good. It's different. I'm not a huge black licorice fan, but it's still not a cigarette. Like I said, I can vape some pretty junky juices and still be okay with it. I don't know if my cave fun works on the MVP. Probably not. I think I got it wrapped at 0.67. I don't think my MVP will do it. I think it'll be like, what are you, crazy? I'm not going to vape anything that low. That's probably true. What do I got this at? Is that 3.8 still? Yeah, it's still at 3.8. And that's all you get. Different things vape differently. See that? There's like nothing there. It's about what you expect out of an actual e-cig, not a personal vaping device. Trying to explain the difference the other day to somebody, which some people say, well, there's no real difference. Well, the difference is battery life. The difference is quality of juice that's in there. The difference is vapor quality. It's a big difference. E-cig, or cig-alike, as some people like to call it, is, what was that last year? A couple of hours of actual smoke vape time. Or if you pick up, wow, my light's yellow, now it's green again. What's up with that? Yellow. I'm gonna go back to green probably. Back to green. Alright, yellow. I guess I've been using it for a day. I guess it's okay if it goes to yellow, huh? But, the e-cigs. It was on the topic of e-cigs. You know, the cig-alike ones, really. And, vapor quality's diminished, flavors, you really don't know what juice is in there. You know, sure, Blue's got, you know, oh, we're great. Take their word for it. They come in the little cartridge with the atomizer and all that. something like what I started out with. Basically, a miniature cardo tank without the tank. It's just a cardo, and they don't flow real well. They don't burn real well. Well, they'll burn the cardo up pretty well. And then you got that foamy stuff in there on the old style atomizers where you put the little cartridge in. Some people still use them, but never a big fan of that, because if your juice ever went down far enough and you started getting that burnt flavor, that stuff was like a plastic foam, and that can't be good, right? People want to talk about carcinogens and all sorts of stuff. You know, been reading tons of stuff lately on harmful side effects and harmful this and harmful that. The juices, PG and VG, which is in lots of your foods. Antifreeze, oh my god, it's in antifreeze. It must be death. Yeah, your antifreeze has 50% water in it too. So water's bad for you too, right? Because that's in antifreeze. People, come on. They put propylene glycol in antifreeze to reduce its harmful effects on the environment. If it, say, leaks out, gets on the ground, whatever. Reducing the harmful effect. Reducing the harmful effect. I'm really enjoying that dual parallel coil setup in there. Now that I've got it back in there. And the Helios just seems to hold a ton of juice. It doesn't have a drip well. And everybody talks about these atomizers. Yeah, mine's still. All these atomizers with this gigantic drip well. I don't have a drip well. It's way down here. My coils are way up here. But you can put a ton of cotton in between the coils and where the base is. It's not really a drip well. It's just cotton sitting up in the middle of nowhere. And I like that. The coils sit up way higher than everything else, because then you can put cotton underneath there. You can get into your screw holes and put your coils in there without dipping them down into something. And it's a beautiful thing. A K-Fun. Easy to build on a K-Fun. It's a clone, of course. I do a lot of long hits on my K-Fun. I don't know. Just more like a mouth dragger on this thing. You can do it, but that's not how I use it. Different things vape differently. But I'll be taking my protank out with me today, just for the sake of ease of use. So yeah, at iClear 30B, I still haven't opened those last two coil heads. Still using this one. I do have another one that's sitting in my box up there that's re-wicked and ready to go. I think I got way too much cotton in that one. That was one of the first heads I'd gotten. I think it's the first head that I got with this, and it came apart. I did get something for, instead of that cardboard box with my vape gear in it. I went a little upscale. I'm going to say upscale. And we picked up a tackle box and put all my stuff in it. Because the wife got tired of looking at my box with all sorts of crap all over the place. So I said, all right, let's go see what they got down there while we're getting our fishing license. And I said, that tackle box was under $20. It was like $13. Why not? Why not use a tackle box? It's got all the compartments in it. It opens up. You can put all your wick and wire on the bottom, your stainless steel mesh. I got a big old tube of stainless steel mesh, and that fits in there. I don't know. Works out good. Everything's in there. I put on the top tray part for my dripper and my RSST. I drilled out a little hole on the tray so they would sit down in there, like they were sitting on one of these. And just put them down in the hole so they stand up, take the drip tips off, and I can still close the box. It's beautiful. Got different spots in it, just like for your fishing lures. You just put these in the different spots. These ones need to be re-wicked. These ones are good. Good to go. Juice bottles fit in there just fine. It's beautiful. It's not like I have a whole shelf of fluid. I usually only have maybe up to 6 bottles. Maybe. And most of the time, half those 6 bottles are empty bottles. I like to keep a couple of empty bottles around just to, in case I get a juice like this. And it's got the dripper, plunger dripper thing on there. It's kind of difficult in things like the K-Fun. You can do it, but some of the bottles line up better with the hole on the bottom to squeeze the juice in, like the gourmet vapor bottles. Child safety cap. Yeah. Do a little what you should have. I should have had this for a long time because I've been rebuilding for over a year, 2 years, something like that. Should have had one of these the whole time. I was going through my protanks, and I can show you. I was going through my protanks. Ooh, let's see here. These ones all need to be rebuilt. And I thought they were a heck of a lot lower than what they are. So we're going to lose a little juice here because I need the base. Yes, I do. I need the base. We'll lose a drop of juice, and hopefully we don't knock it over. Not left-handed. I hope that worked out. Here's the one I got. That one was, what, 1.18? Here's another one that I rebuilt. Identical. Hasn't been used yet. We'll screw her down. 1.24. Same thing. It's 6 wraps of 28 gauge. And now, when I grab this one that I rebuilt a long time ago, rebuilt this a long time ago, and I figured, hey, why not check everything now that I have one? This one actually doesn't even work. Beauty, eh? Pick out one that doesn't even work. Yeah, that's why it's in the let's recoil it spot. Grab it. Grab it. Grab it. Most of these are wrapped with 32 because when I got my protank, I had gotten 32 gauge and I wrapped them up. And here's what you notice with 32 gauge. Yeah, that's pretty high. 4.29. Really? That's crazy high. Turns out most of mine are between 2.5 and above, all the way up to 4 or 5. And I can take this apart here. I don't know if you'll see it because the wicks are black. I can barely see it. But I think that's 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 wraps. You're not going to be able to see that. There's 8 wraps in there of 32 in there. And that's super high. Go like this. Slowly. Yeah, it'll vaporize, but crank it all the way up. Let's blow it up. It's trying its darndest, but it ain't gonna glow. Not at that resistance. Smell the burn. Smell the burn. Now what does it say? Just doing that, it went down to 3.9. So, it is what it is. But, noticing that, I just put them all in the rebuild bin. And I'm going to leave you again. Anything else cool up here? You know, I don't even use my Nautilus anymore. I got my Nautilus in here. It's full of juice. It's not full of juice. It's half full of juice. I believe my Nautilus is one of the 1.8s. Yeah, there you go. 1.79. I use it. Guy at work just got into vaping. And he has a Nautilus. Put the Nautilus on here for the heck of it. And we'll go. What is that? That is creamy. I don't know what that is. I don't have any creamy juice, so I have no idea what the hell that is. I'm telling you, stuff happens to your juice as it sits. Especially when it just sits in a tank. I don't know why, but it does. It sits in a tank, and something happens to it. I don't forget. Creamy. I have no idea what's in here. Creamy? What the heck? I don't have any juice that's creamy. The Nautilus works. Don't get me wrong. The Nautilus works. But like I've said in the past, you really have to find an airflow setting on it that works for you and the juice that you have in it. And I'm never happy with the Nautilus. I'll vape it for a little while on one setting, and then we'll crank it wide open. Yes, it works. I'm never happy with it. It's always... If I leave it on the widest airflow setting, which I kind of like most of the time, usually it's the next one down. It doesn't wick enough juice, and it'll go dry, and then it'll burn. And who wants that? That's where I'm going to say any of your carcinogens come into play, is by burning that coil and that wick with no juice on it. And you get that nasty flavor. There's got to be something in that, right? You can go get a drink. And son's at home today. He's sick. Decided not to eat supper last night. What kid doesn't like manwich? That kid don't like sandwich. I don't know why. But he decided he didn't want to eat. So, of course, he's sick today because he didn't eat last night. So now he gets to sit and watch cartoons half the day. The protank. Still my go-to device. Protank. Want to go outside and do stuff? Protank. That's at 1.12. Is that what it was at before? Yeah, sure it was. I don't know. Still think, yes. The FDA had 3 years to come up with their proposed plan. And now that they've come up with their proposed plan, we as vapors want to make them extend the deadline because they had 3 years and we're only asking for a 100-day extension. Well, how about instead of putting all your effort into, let's just get them to extend it. We'll get them to extend it so we can come back. Why don't you just come back with something? Everybody wants to prolong the agony. Why don't you just come back with something? You're all sitting there worried and whining about it. I'll whine about it. There, want to take it away? Take it away. Good. You want to get rid of VG juice? Good. Get rid of VG juice. Then you can figure out something else to put in 90% of your food that's out there. VG, vegetable glycerin, in most of your food. FDA approved. PG, propylene glycol. FDA approved in hospitals to sanitize the air conditioning, whatever you want to call it. They send it through the vents to sanitize the air. Sounds like, the misting effect or whatever. That's damn near vaporizing it, right? You put something in a squirt bottle and it mists out. It's almost vaporizing. There's a moisture there, but, FDA approved. Oh, but it's not FDA approved for vaping. Well, kinda is when you look at it that way. I'm ingesting it in a way, right? Nicotine's bad for you. Clogs your arteries up and all sorts of stuff. We can't prove you doing that. Well, you know what? You know what's in here right now? Vegetable glycerin and flavoring. That's it. There's no nicotine in here. When something performs that well, why ruin it with a harsh throat hit? The thickness is there to mimic the smoke. Way more vapor than you'd ever get out of a cigarette. Maybe if you inhaled the whole cigarette. Was reading about studies they've done with super high concentrations, literally just vaporized and pumped into a massive fog, and they had monkeys and rats and birds and all sorts of animals in there, and had all these ones over here just completely engrossed in propylene glycol, and had these ones completely engrossed in vegetable glycerin vapor everywhere. And they used to do studies on the monkeys and dogs and all that back in the day with smoking, and how monkeys are getting sick and that's cruelty to animals and blah 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 blah. We can't do that. Animal testing, whatever. And the monkeys are dying, cancer, they're coughing and hacking and getting tumors in their heads and their legs and everywhere else. And well, the ones with the juice studies for propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin, the only thing noticed was some dry skin, and that was with heavy, like completely fogging their living space. And when they did another test where it wasn't completely fogging it up, just, what would be probably normal amounts of this, where yeah, there's a lot there, but I can still see across the room kind of stuff. Even that went away. So really, that's your side effects to vaping. You may get dry skin, dry throat, scratchy throat, which can be cured by drinking more water. Oh. Well, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? I can cure something by drinking more water? Crazy. Who would have thought that drinking water would be good for you? People, come on now. Yeah, I know I'm noisy. Love that sound, don't you? But anywho, it's neither here nor there. I just want to make a video. They had a little mishap with my order on Vaping Walrus. I get to keep this one. I just paid them for it. I said instead of shipping that back to you, I'm digging it. I'm liking it. $24. $24.50. Is that what it is? Can't remember now. $24.50. I said I'm digging it. I'm liking it. Let me just pay you for it. So I did. The black one is in the mail. Should be here by Saturday. I work Saturday, so don't expect a video Saturday about the black one. Black licorice, man. I can vape it. I can take it. Put this in the dripper though. I got 6 milligram in here. I like any of my tanks. They have a little bit of nicotine in them. My dripper doesn't need it because it does that. Yeah, it's still coming out of me. What do you need nicotine in there for? It does that. And usually my nighttime device, nicotine at night. Probably don't need nicotine at all, but need is a needy word, isn't it? Different things vape differently. I've done a video on that before. Different things vape differently. Especially you take something off, put it on another device, and it's totally different. Well, why is it totally different? Well, it's like these have batteries in them that look like your PlayStation controller batteries. I may have one laying over here. I may. I'm going to leave the camera sight again. Oh my goodness, don't leave the camera sight. That would be terrible. Yeah, I got one right here. This is actually a cell phone battery. Basically the same thing. Thought I had a PlayStation controller one up there, but I guess not. Picture 2 of those inside here. Basically what it is, you see how thick it is? Not really, because of the camera view. See? Basically 2 of them stacked up in there. And then of course you have room for your power button and your chip set in there with the display and everything else. So it's basically 2 of these. Well, these don't hold a lot of amperage. And I'm not even sure what this one is right here. Let's see here. It's one out of a Motorola, 3.6 volts, lithium ion battery. Basically, the same thing that's in there, doubled up. There's two of them in there. I've seen a video of people taking it apart. That's how I know. I've been thinking about taking it apart and putting two of these in there, if they'll fit. Probably won't fit. And if they do fit, I probably have to take the chipset and everything else out and make it basically a semi-mechanical mod. Power switch and put some battery connectors in there, screw it all back together, and put two 18650s in there, which should fit just about right. Should be just enough room to squeeze them in there. All the devices that you see in my videos are stuff that I like to use. Yes, I have some Cardos. I have some Cardo tanks laying back there. I really don't use them unless I pull them out for a video or something, just so you can see the difference in vape quality. Flavor is completely diminished on a Cardo tank. Doesn't seem to matter where I get the Cardos from. I've got really nice ones up there from Smoke Tech, I think. And they vape really nice. They produce a lot of vapor. You can feel the throat hit if you have 12 milligram or higher juice in there. But the flavor is just dead in there compared to anything else. I will mention something else. Cotton. 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 Stock. Yeah, it's stock. I have a couple of these recoiled in there with single coils. I find it super difficult to put a dual coil setup in one of these, just because you gotta line everything up. Oh, it's just a pain. Flavor on this isn't bad. The Nautilus. I don't know. I don't know if it's on my recommend list anymore. This iClear 30B I really like, but I don't like it in stock form. I like it rewicked with cotton. In stock form, it doesn't seem to wick quite as well as it should. It doesn't seem to have, it almost has the flavor there, but then, you know, it comes down to a wicking issue. They have so much wick jammed in these that it's just tough, man. It's just tough to get it to constantly wick without, you know, take a vape and then go and prime it up some more. And I don't have that issue with it rewicked with cotton. 38. Just checking. Couldn't remember if I had it all the way down or not. Still the same old stock coils. Before I did rewick it, I did dry burn it. And yeah, just remember, when you dry burn stock coils, you can't hold that button down, man. Unless you want to burn those little rubber insulators in the bottom of it. You just can't, you can't hold it down. You got to pulse it, blow on it. So without the juice there, to keep it cool and keep it from melting, it's exactly what you're going to do, is melt it. I do like, you know, if you notice that on the H100, it just spins. It's awesome. The only issue I ever had with this is this top piece. You can still see it's It's slightly split apart right there. It doesn't seem to want to come out any farther than that. It doesn't want to go back in. And it's locked. So how are you going to vape it? Goofball. You just 2 little spins and it's all there, man. It is just yeah, look at that. It moves so nice. Doesn't get stuck. Where I've noticed on my Nemi clone, sometimes it will get stuck. And it's a pain in the butt. The threads are really nice. But if it gets stuck like this, it's no problem. You just undo the screw, or undo the switch a little bit, and now it spins again. However, if it gets stuck up here, which it's not going to do now on camera, but it's done that to me a few times, where it's gotten stuck up there, and it just doesn't want to come loose until it wants to come loose. I don't know if it's a change in temperature, if I have it screwed up in there. There we go. Now it's locked in. It's unscrewing the whole thing, and then it just comes loose again. I don't know if it's a change in temperature. Let's try that again. We'll say it again. The change in temperature where it gets heated up, and now it doesn't want to move. See? It doesn't want to move now. That must be what it is. There we go. I got it. Because it's 2 different types of metal. See? No, I can't move it again. And it'll move when it wants to move. You can do this all day long. It'll just move when it wants to move. I'm unscrewing the battery again. There it goes. See? That's my take on it, is because it's 2 different kinds of metal right there. It's just like having aluminum rims on your car, and they heat up and they cool down. And make sure lug nuts tighten or loosen. Also, if you have aluminum rims on your car and it gets really cold in the winter, you'll notice one day you'll go out there and your tires look low. Well, yeah, your tires look low because the aluminum reacts to weather really well and changes shape a little bit there. It gets nice and cold and aluminum will go a little bit, and now you don't have a seal as good as you had on your tires anymore. So some air is leaking out. It warms back up, seals back up, it's all good. Things you don't know that you don't really need to know, but whatever. Oh, I've been vaping too much. I'm thirsty. I should get some water. I think I will. Make a really long video about absolutely nothing. So, there you are. Basically, what's in your MVP. 2 of those. That's all I got. I just want to make a video. I made a video for a while, so figure I'd make a video. Different things, vape differently. Recoil the protanks again. Yourself a protank. Re-wick it. I'm not even saying recoil it. I'm saying just pop it apart and re-wick it with some cotton. It's a world of difference. A world of difference. Get yourself an ohms checker if you want to rebuild stuff. Should have had one a long time ago. And knowing what I know now, should have had one of these a long time ago. Look, it's small. You can hide it somewhere. Use it as a club. No? Alright. Oh, turned it back on. Why would you do that? So, you all have fun now. Because I know I will.